Go.
I've got the windows open. I'm just waiting for.
Go. God, I need to stop.
There's the chat.
I'm still not even seeing it.
Neither am I.
Yeah, it's up.
Now it is.
Yeah, it's up. It's up. And there's only one person. So.
Hi, one person.
Well,
Wait,
there's
let me ask.
six, so.
But I suspect we'll have more people. So.
Oh yeah, we're up to 7.
Wait, why am I not seeing it? Okay.
By the way, I'm gonna just as an interesting sub note. I have had a conversation with the developer of Stream.place, which is one of the other places that I'm streaming this session for. And the reason Streamplace is cool is because it's AT protocol enabled, which means it integrates seamlessly with Blue Sky. So I think Blue Sky is going to embrace this go live concept or live session concept with other services by extending the AT protocol to do that. It's interesting. It's very interesting. By the way, I have to share a minor detail is that yesterday I watched somebody drink an entire bottle of magnesium citrate.
I've done it. I have to take a lot of colonoscopies, so yeah.
I'm not familiar.
It's disgusting.
It'll make you shit.
It'll make you shit everything out of your body.
Magnesium citrate will essentially clear the highway utterly.
Right.
That's one way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Magnesium citrate will clear the highway all the way.
It's like the Drano for human digestive tract.
Yeah, it's like the worst part about a colonoscopy is the prep. Like it's horrible, but and magnesium citrate is one of the parts about it.
The citrate is citrate is definitely that's the goat as far as handling things. All right, well, let's go right into it. So committing. So the first topic on the Deep Exhale today is commitments. And so the quote that leads into this is the Alice Walker quote. It says, the most common way people give up their power is by thinking they don't have any. Now, I know going into this week and watching Alex Pretty get gunned down in cold blood on a Minnesota street by 9 ICE thugs makes you feel like you're completely powerless. But I want you to think about something when you feel that way. So Walker hits it square. The invisible theft we commit against ourselves. Because, for example, in the article was talking about a gay lawmaker who, by the way, is probably going to end up in the house, had a car accident, and he never lost consciousness during that experience because somewhere deep, he'd already decided that unconsciousness wasn't an option. We're not any different. What we say, what we do, the decisions we commit to make in our daily lives, that's a conscious decision that we make to commit. I commit to, on Monday at 1 o'clock, getting the band together and talking about this shit because this stuff is stuff that needs to be talked about. Because right now, I don't know about you three, but I feel completely powerless while this shit is happening. And it's not pretty. And here's the thing that I want you to remember when you think about that. Your power isn't in controlling what happens to you. It's in that split-second choice where you decide, I'm going to be a victim or I'm going to be a navigator. So we talked about the 90-10 rule. Is there anybody that doesn't understand the 90-10 rule?
Let's assume that I don't.
Okay. So the 90-10 rule says 10% is punch, the slur, the rigged system, whoever's angry at you, and 90% is whether you stay down or you run for fucking Congress because you're tired of it. 90% is the action. The 10% is the whatever the fuck it is. But here's the thing. That 90% belongs to you. It doesn't belong to anybody else. So how do you practice that?
The question is, how do we harness that?
Yeah, exactly. Notice today when you're about to give away power to somebody and don't do it. The moment that says that I can't or I shouldn't or who am I to do X? Why should I bother with Y? Stop yourself and breathe and ask, what would I do if I knew I had the power and then do whatever the fuck that is? Even if you're scared, especially if you're scared, you should do it anyway. And that's the moral of Walker's statement that says the most common way people give up their power is by thinking they don't have any.
Good.
Yeah, in this situation you're talking about with what's going on, I think it is definitely difficult to feel like you have any power as an individual. I mean, there's always strength in numbers, of course, but like if you decide yourself that you're, I don't know, that you're gonna boycott or not pay your taxes because this administration and what this administration is doing or whatever, but then you think like, am I the only one doing this? Or, you know, is it going to make any difference? Are other people going to commit to doing this too? And that kind of puts doubt in your mind. It's like, is what I'm doing enough? Is it going to make any difference whatsoever? And that kind of makes you, kind of brings you back down. And then there's a people pleasing aspect. If you're traditionally a people pleaser, you don't want to rock the boat, or you don't want to put yourself out there or bring too much attention to yourself or to your family if you have a family or loved ones, that because you've got to think about them too. Is what I'm doing going to affect them? And so, yeah, all these things play into your actions and your feeling of powerlessness.
It's easy to feel that way. It's legit easy to feel like that you can do nothing. But you can do something. I mean, I think so, at least.
I don't know that I feel powerless. I feel like I don't have direction
Why not?
because I don't have an outlet for the rage that I feel. But to Brandon's point, in addition to like like you can also participate in like boycotting and things like that. It doesn't necessarily have to be as intense as stopping paying your taxes, because I found out last year when I did my taxes, because for whatever reason they didn't take federal taxes out of Joe's unemployment last year. We had $900 in back taxes to pay. And if it had been over $1,000, we would have had to pay fees, because then they claim that you're not paying your taxes in a timely fashion. So that's something else you need to keep in mind when you're making decisions like that, is like, how is that going to negatively impact you at the end of the year, or, you know, at any point in the future? So I guess my point is, yes, we should be taking actions to different things, but also weighing out what the consequences are for us individually, as well as potential consequences for our families and so on and so forth.
So I actually have a question about that. Is there something that we can do?
Yes.
The collective of this group, of the band, that can help you get that direction?
I don't know.
I do.
Wait, you know what can be done to give me direction?
I mean, I can suggest, and I can.
I mean, I'm looking for something that I can actually like use my already built skill sets to achieve.
I mean, if you want, I can pack up a claymore and send it to you, and you can go and swing it at whoever the fuck you want to swing it at. I will not be held accountable for what happens consequentially for you doing that.
I've got an 8-pound maul in my garage, so I think I'm good on that. As satisfying as cracking skulls with that thing would be, I'm not going to do that. Because I know that there's consequences, probably life-ending consequences. And that's not what I'm aiming for.
Well, I mean, we don't want life-ending consequences for sure. We don't want life-ending consequences. How long before she sees it?
Oh, sorry. I am here. So I want to start off first by, like, there's a quote by Nina Simone, and I don't know the correct words, but it's something like, I tell you what freedom is to me, and that's no fear. So that is the idea that I try to keep inside me. That doesn't mean I'm going to be on the front lines fighting physically. I am not there anymore. But I think as a collective and as artists, we channel our rage and our fear into art, writing, anything like that, painting, making music, making it revolutionary, speaking to what's going on now. Really working that angle. You know, there are going to be people who do this, people who do this, people who do that. Working for the greater good of the country, of our collective, of people, you know, shows, well, you kind of have to drop some of the fear. You kind of have to drop some of the, well, what's going to happen to me? And, you know, there are people I know who have literally put their bodies on the line. And, you know, that's a scary proposition. And I'm not going to lie. I don't know that I could do that. There's a lot of negative energy that comes with that from other people and from outside sources. It makes you start to doubt yourself. Like, is this the right thing to do for me and my family, me and my friends, anyone associated with me? That becomes, your choice, or your like my driving understanding. Will I be able to do something that counts towards the revolution, or am I going to sit on the sidelines? And being free, totally free, requires that you drop some of the fear that you have at the door. So.
I mean, I agree on all of those points. The point is to make you aware of the fact that you have that power, and that you're able to utilize it. In Sarah's case, she doesn't know, she doesn't have that outlet. So that begs my question, where I say, can we help you to get to that point? Whatever the fuck that is. Because you have to understand that you have that, and you have the ability to use it, and you have the ability to express it. And so that led right into my Assata Shakur quote. Which, by the way, if you don't know who Assata Shakur is, she was a fugitive. She was a Black Panther member, and she was there at the crux time of equal rights in the 60s and 70s. And what she says is, it's our duty to fight for our freedom. It's our duty to win. We must love each other and we must support each other. We have nothing to lose but the chains that are attached to our body, but our chains. Now, of course, in Shakur's case, she was making a euphemism to slavery. But that euphemism exists even now, today. Be it being shoved into a closet, being told you can't get the care that you need, being told that you're going to be eradicated, being called a domestic terrorist because you're a gender variant person. Whatever capacity that is, or that you're an orientation variant person. But what Shakur understands in that statement is interconnection before there was even a thing called interconnection. So, for instance, the exemplification for that is Dylan Mulvaney stepping into a role on stage in the Six theatrical performance. And all the right-wingers freaked out and said, no, fuck that. And all this other shit. But, when she did that, that carries every trans kid who can't afford tickets, every trans elder like myself, who, in many cases would never have survived to see it. Every scared teenager scrolling through TikTok at 2 a.m. looking for proof that they can survive. In Shakur's case, her shackles differ from the ones that we experience. But when bigots come for one queen, they're coming for all of us. Doesn't matter what your skin color is. Doesn't matter what your orientation is. Doesn't matter what your gender is. Doesn't even matter what your political leaning is. that isn't abstract solidarity. It's acknowledgement. The systems that are crushing us to test their methods on marginalized communities. Then they scale up. First, they came for trans health care. Then they came for abortion. Then they come for birth control. Then they start banning and burning books. Then they, burn the whole goddamn library down. Your freedom is tactical horseshit to them, and they'll use it. So what do? You put money, you put time, you put a platform behind people who struggle that you don't personally face or that you don't understand. Helping trans kids out, indigenous land backing movement, disability justice organizations. Hell, speaking out on social media about all of these things to stop that slavery from happening. Because in Shakur's case, it was segregation. Before that, it was actual slavery. And before that, it was something else. But society has shown progressively over time that all of those things that happen over time eventually get whisked away. Slavery was whisked away. Segregation was whisked away. Gay hate will get whisked away. It doesn't exist like it used to. And then trans hate will get whisked away. It just takes time. I hate quoting movies, but geology is the study of pressure and time. That's all it takes. Pressure and time. Well, that on a big goddamn poster. Shawshank Redemption, for anybody that doesn't remember. It's the greatest movie that was ever made. But that's what it takes. So then my question becomes, does that help you?
I missed most of the questions. I had to go and talk to my child. So I don't know if it helps me or not.
If we tell you what you can do, does that help you? Even more specifically, do you feel trapped, chained, contained? That's an even broader question.
I don't know that I feel trapped or not. I mean, generally, yes, but that's because of the weather.
The federal government controls the weather. You could just lobby the federal government to stop the snow from happening.
Right.
Marjorie Taylor Greene says the government controls the weather.
Does she?
She did say that, yes. Round about the time she said that Jewish space lasers started forest fires and a few other things. Although I will point out, if you read today's digest, that she indeed came out on Twitter yesterday and told the body politic on Twitter that Trump and the immigration police are just trying to get people to go into civil war. And
Try to get people to what? I didn't hear that last part.
Oh, Marjorie Taylor Greene went on Twitter and basically said the immigration push is to try to push you into civil war.
Oh, right. Yeah, well, that's what I've been thinking.
It's 100% true. Or at least I think so too.
Yeah.
I don't know that I have formulated enough of a response to that yet.
All right. Well, we'll come back to you, and we'll ask the life of the party.
Oh
Well,
gosh. Well,
let
you
me
better
ask you.
switch it.
So let me ask you, just as a posing question, Brandon. I mean, if you were forced to go back into the closet, would you do it?
The fact that you have to think about that.
Yeah, that.
Well, I'm thinking like in what circumstance, what would be the if the alternative is death, I mean, yeah, probably. I don't know.
I mean, I can't help but think about what would I have done if I were in Alex Preddy's place. Would I have done any differently than he did? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I really don't. And if that were true, I wouldn't be here right now. I'd be dead. You know, what I have done, would you have done any different than Renee Good or Alex Pretty or any other person?
Yeah, I mean, standing up for somebody else is, I think, easier for me than standing up for myself. And well, what I was thinking about earlier before you posed that question, and just kind of going back to the strength in numbers thing, because they might be going after a certain group or whatever, but it's not going to stop there. It'll progress to other marginalized groups, communities. They may be focusing on immigrants, but it's going to expand to trans and gay, anybody in the LGBTQ plus community, and Jews, and
Disabled.
and
Women. No.
Yeah.
When does it turn into blonde haired and blue eyed people only?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of on that route now. Well, never mind. So that's kind of where the strength in numbers thing comes back. You may not think it affects you now, but it very likely will at some point.
And that's hard.
Yeah.
It is. But I mean, as a community and organizing a community, we can achieve anything in those numbers. Those are the numbers that put 2 million people on the streets of Minneapolis on Friday, protesting the very thing that's going on. I want to point out, by the way, that apparently, Trump has said this on Truth Social. I'm not sure if it makes it true or not, but two things are happening. One, Tom Homan, the border czar, is headed to Minnesota. And then two, Trump has told Waltz that if via Pam Bondi that if Waltz hands over the voting rolls for the state of Minnesota, they'll pull ICE out entirely.
I heard that one.
So
Yeah.
why do they want to do that? Because they're going to lose the midterms,
Mm-hmm.
and they know it, and they want to invalidate votes. That's what's coming. But I don't think that Waltz is going to bend to that pressure. I don't.
Oh, and going back to your question, sorry,
Yes.
before you, Sacred asked in the chat, if you had to marry a woman and have children with her, would you do that to placate the Trump regime? Well, the answer to that would be no.
No.
You wouldn't have a lavender marriage? No? Okay.
I'm sorry, that lavender shit, that was 1973. That's done.
Right.
It's not
Right.
happening again.
Right. I saw that Sacred said something about, if people come for her or friends, that she wouldn't mind taking out a couple if she's going down, and that's how I feel, come for me or come for my friends, I expect to take people out if they're going to take me out. I'm 10 toes down on that. I'm not going back in the closet. I don't think anything can make me go back in the closet. I was in the closet for so long. I fought hard, both mentally and sometimes physically, to get where I am now. It was a struggle. My mental health took a big hit. All because of this. I can't go back. I just want to say another thing, and that slavery has not been abolished. It's just changed forms to the prison industrial complex. The amount of Black men imprisoned is extreme. And a lot of times they are working physical labor and not getting paid for it. It's slavery. It's state sanctioned slavery. But yeah, as a collective, I think once again, we have to look out for each other, start making those bonds. It's just like me and Egg were talking a couple days ago. I live in an apartment complex, and there are a lot of people who ICE would want to yank out, including myself. So we are making it a point to meet everyone in our pod, so that we can be prepared if ICE happens to show up. We can let everyone know. We are going to now work together, and I think that's what it's going to take. Would I put myself in Pretty's shoes, or just helping people now? Would I like to be tackled by ICE and held down? That probably was not on his mind either. His mind was just helping someone who had been pushed out. I'm sure he wasn't thinking, he's going to get shot. I'm going to lose my life today for doing this. I don't think a lot of people go in saying, well, I'm going to lose my life and I'm going to do this anyway. I think it's a little bit more complicated than that. It's more of, for me, it's more of, let me try and do this without necessarily thinking I'm going to lose my life. And that may be a little short-sighted by me, a little privileged by me to think that I can't lose my life to this. The fact is anybody can, and it's been proven already. So, well.
I'm muted. I don't disagree with you. the point that you make about slavery hasn't been abolished, it just exists in another form. Economic slavery, judicial slavery, those are all just themselves reiterations of the same thing over and over again. But the thing that slavery proves, I hate saying this, but the thing that bigotry and slavery and hatred and discrimination, the thing that all four of those prove is that we exist. Which is why I pulled the Laverne Cox quote saying, I'm not a concept, I'm not a trend, I'm not some symbol, I am a person. And that remains true for all of us, for me, for Brandon, for Sarah, for Onyx, all of us. But when Cox is saying this, she's talking about the exhaustion that everyone who is marginalized, myself, everybody in this room, all the people of a progressive political ideology leaning, that's the feeling when your humanity becomes a hashtag. But there's a gift there, and a gift in that wariness that you may not see. And the fact of the matter is, they need us to be a symbol because my personhood scares them. They're afraid of it. My three-dimensional, contradictory, fuck-up making, joy experiencing, complicated personhood threatens their very existence, and they cannot let it go, and they don't want to, because it threatens every simple story they've built about who belongs and who doesn't. You either belong or you don't in their mind. And because we exist outside of that scope, that means we don't belong. So they have to marginalize us. They have to identify us. So yeah, I'm going to be a person. Messy, tired. I'm going to fuck up. I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to contradict myself. I'm going to contain multitudes. My personhood isn't the neat narrative that they need or that even they want. It's the truth that cracks their certainties. Because, to be honest with you, I don't give two fucks about their certainties. Their certainties can go fuck themselves. When Mulvaney steps onto a stage on Broadway as Anne Boleyn, that's a fucking miracle. She's not being symbolic. She's just being herself. She's being a person who almost gave up on theater, who got ripped up one side and down the other online for doing a goddamn beer ad. Which, by the way, pissed off the right-wingers so much that it caused Kid Rock to go out into his backyard, put a 24-pack of Bud Light on a pedestal, and then shoot it up with a fucking AK-47 just to make himself feel better about how he's never going to drink Bud Light ever again. But Mulvaney kept showing up, and she kept being the person that she is because, like the rest of us, she's just stubborn as hell. You know, the YouTube chat filling up, misgendering us and saying shit. I don't give a shit about that chat. Right. Fuck you. I'm 53 years old. I've had to put up with a lot of abuse. You're going to have to try a hell of a lot harder than telling me I'm a grown-ass man doing big things. You're going to have to try a hell of a lot harder. If that's what you've got, I've been hit harder by a girl. Oh, and I want to point out, by the way, that when I was younger, there was a girl that beat my ass in, and she could beat in most men's ass that I knew in that time. my friend Renee. I've been hit by a 5-year-old harder than these fuckers in the YouTube chat that think that they can get me to twinge. What the fuck ever. So I tell myself this week, I notice when I'm performing symbol instead of just living as myself. When I'm being the good, my identity, and versus otherwise. And when all my fuck ups, come about that implies. I drop that performance. I just be a person. That's who I am. What the fuck else am I supposed to be?
Oh shit. Wendy, I agree with you 100%. What am I supposed to be other than me? Like I said before, I fought hard to get where I am. I'm not backing down. YouTube chats, any chats, fuck them. Y'all can say to me whatever you want. I've been abused in every single platform I have been on. Racial abuse, gender abuse, all of it. So, I've heard it all before my entire life. And then when I came out, I've heard it since then. Nothing is going to change the way I believe. Nothing is going to change the way I see myself. And in that truth, I'm going to live, like they say, out loud, not proud. I know it sounds cheesy, but that is the truth. I will not allow anyone to take that from me. It's not going to happen. I feel like it's my responsibility to show up and show out so that other people who are a little bit unsure can see somebody and say, okay, yeah, I feel that way too. This is who I am. Maybe I can make that leap to come out. Maybe I can make that leap to be a whole person and to stand in front of the face of discrimination, racism, bigotry, prejudice, all of this. As queer people, that is what we stand up for. And as a Black queer person, that is also what I have to deal with. It's something that it's just intersections, and that's always what I'm clashing with. And that is something that, people have tried to rob me of, but they can't. And I'm not going to let them, that's just the long and short of it.
And in the chat, Sacred said, and that's a foreign concept to me. Each person has a right to be who they are, and why someone else thinks it affects them is just insane and unfathomable to me. That's how I think too. I'm like, why does it matter who's playing in a commercial or playing in a play on Broadway or something like that? Why do some people get so upset about that? It's just it's almost funny. It's just ridiculous. It
is completely ridiculous.
I wonder if it's a lot of
totally ridiculous. There's no reason for it.
What were you saying, Onyx?
I wonder if people, a lot of the people that do this are looking at themselves and seeing a reflection of us and them, not wanting to confront that. There are people, who are just assholes, rude, and just, evil, for lack of a better word. But there are a lot of people, I feel, who see internally that at least a part of them in us, and they can't accept that, and not yet, but and even if they don't ever, it's going to make them miserable. They're going to die miserable, and die. Sorry.
Yeah, I think some of it, for some people at least, it's probably some of it is probably internalized homophobia or transphobia or whatnot. But then there's also just the fact that they're seeing someone who's being themselves and being who they are and not ashamed or, just being proud of who they are, and they can't do that themselves because they have issues, they have stuff hidden, and it may not have anything to do with gender or sexuality or anything like that, but just the fact that they're being who they can be and being completely open, and they feel insecure about who they are. I don't know, that could be part of it too.
So
They feel threatened.
I
Yeah.
hate to use this example, but it's a pretty good example of where this is the case. The vitriolic outspeak because somebody saw someone like us and saw themselves in us is Ted Haggard. Do we all know the story about Ted Haggard?
I do not.
Okay. All right. So let's break out Wikipedia for this one. But basically, what happened was this: so Ted Haggard was the pastor of a mega church, New Life Church, which was out in the Midwest. It's out in your neck of the woods, I think, Brandon.
Likely.
And so he had 20,000 congregants in that church body, and he was one of the more vitriolic anti-gay, anti-trans, anti everything but white Anglo-Saxon Protestant male. Well, it turned out in 2006 that he got caught smoking meth with a masseur whom he was having sex with. And so the church booted him out for being bi. And the delineation with Haggard was, I don't know that it was ever specified if he was gay or bi. I think it later came out that he was bi, and that's how he reconditioned himself, but he never fully recovered from the experience. Here in Atlanta, he's no longer, he's dead now, no longer with us, very popular megachurch pastor named Bishop Eddie Long. And Bishop Eddie Long was vitriolically anti-gay, anti-trans, anti-everything. And he was a person of color on top of that, which makes this even more wild. And then it came out that he, by the way, there's a YouTube, go look for this. Just search for Bishop Eddie Long and the word Torah. So the Torah, the first 5 books of the Bible. And you'll find a video of a Messianic Judaic rabbi wrapping Bishop Eddie Long in a Torah around him, consecrating him as a holy being. Well, here was the thing about Long. Long married a 16-year-old kid in secret, and he was secretly gay. And when that all came out, they demonized and kicked him out of the church. So that's the thing. People who are vitriolically anti-us, they see something in us that they see in themselves. It has to be the case. I just
Can I just pop in?
Oh, yeah, of course.
What you said about Eddie Long, and that brings me back to certain, I won't say the whole majority of Black people, but there is a sect of Black people who, for some reason, don't like queer people. To me, it's like going, we as Black people have been enslaved, taken from Africa, moved to the Caribbean, moved to Brazil, moved everywhere. We've survived together, only to be separated by the fact that some Black people hate gay people, and I'm trying to figure out what the fuck is that? You know, we're all in the same thing. You know, we have all been discriminated against, had bullshit things said to us, and now y'all, meaning my skin folk, are gonna come and say some bullshit to me because I'm queer. You know, to me, that makes no sense and never has. I will never be able to reconcile that because I've gotten it bad from people I would look up to, you know. It's just the nature of the beast. It's not, it doesn't make any sense to me.
No, I certainly agree with that opinion. Because that's the case. But we should pick on Sarah.
Yay. I don't. We've kind of gone all over the place, and I don't remember what I was going to say.
Is it okay for you to exist?
I want to be snarky and say no.
Why not?
I don't know. It sounded like a good answer at the time.
Yeah.
Oh, I forget exactly what it was that you said that triggered me to write this down. But I don't want to. I don't want to belong to their society. I don't want to fit into their society. I don't care about it. If that means building something better, finding something better, whatever that looks like, I'm all for that. But what they're offering doesn't work. It doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for any of us, really. I mean, anybody who is in it and experiences it and is honest about it should be able to say the same thing.
I mean, I agree with you completely. I agree with you completely.
Well, I've said I hope they would deport me.
Well, I guess it depends on where to, really.
Right. Like
Yeah,
not to that max security prison, you know. Let's
I mean, when
no,
did
but just
being
to
deported,
another country though.
right? When
Right.
did being deported like automatically mean that you're going to a prison someplace else? Like deportation was supposed to be just being sent back to your country of origin.
Right.
Well, you know, we were born here.
Right.
I
So
don't
how
know.
can we be?
Well, that's what the argument of some people though. They're like, I thought you all were going to be deported or something. Like,
Right.
well, where would we be? Where's our country of origin? Is
Yeah,
there
okay.
is there a queer country somewhere that I don't know about?
You're gonna send me back to that island 3,000 miles that way, where people go to the pub after 4 o'clock every day? That doesn't sound like a horrible existence to me. So I have cooking shit to talk about now. So because I have cooking shit to talk about, we're gonna put Brandon.
Oh boy, there we
We're gonna put
go.
Brandon at the top. So, Brandon, I have a question. Have you ever made a sourdough starter? Have you ever made a mother?
A sourdough. Well, I don't know. I've made Amish bread, where Amish friendship bread,
Right.
where you have a starter and you add to it and then it develops more, and then of course you have other starters and you give them out to people. I don't know if it's sourdough. I don't
I've
think
messed
that's
a lot
sourdough.
with sourdough.
Huh?
I've messed a lot with sourdough.
Okay, well now I want to hear about it because, when I was a kid, my grandmother Helen, who was really my mother, I've said this before. Basically, in her mind, it was just mixing flour and water daily for a week, and then feed it, and watch the wild yeast go about its way or whatever. But other than that, I don't understand the semantics of making a mother in that
I mean, you're harnessing the yeast that's in the air.
Okay.
I guess they're
Okay.
similar then. I've never made a sourdough bread, but Amish friendship bread, there's a starter. Usually have it in a Ziploc bag or whatever, and you add to it. And by the time you make it, you've got several other starters, and you're supposed to give them out to other people, and they start their own, and it's called Amish friendship bread because you're giving it out to your friends. and stuff.
I've been given a couple of those, and they usually go bad before I can use them.
Oh yeah, it's pretty good. I like it. I mean, the bread is really good, but
I mean, I can't use it anymore anyhow. I've got to try to find a way to make gluten-free sourdough.
Right.
That's an excellent question. Like if you're using rice flour, you should be able to start a mother from rice flour and water, right?
So you should, because you can actually buy gluten-free sourdough starters from places like
Yeah. So there has to be a way to make the starter.
I don't know what flour you would want to use for the best results.
Yeah, I would oat flour. Can you eat oat flour, Sarah? Is oat flour okay or not?
I don't know, because a lot of times oats are processed in the same places that wheat are.
Yeah, there's cross contamination.
Right.
All right. Well, then my other cooking thing was buying heirloom seeds to grow shit. Oh, okay, Sarah. Here we go. Get ready, Brandon. Sarah has an opinion.
I don't have an opinion. I've got a collection.
Oh, those are heirloom. Are you like the biker chick from the Fury Road movie? You have like this thing of heirloom seeds that you've collected.
There's that one.
Wow.
And that one.
Wow.
And probably half of those are ones I've collected from my own garden.
And what are those again?
Seeds. Heirloom
Oh,
seeds.
okay.
So Sarah, explain the heirloom seed concept for Brandon.
I mean, an heirloom seed is something that's not going to have been like crossbred with other things, which isn't always the case anymore. But it's as close to like something that's not been genetically modified for aesthetics. So the tomatoes that you get in the grocery store, most of the time those aren't going to be heirloom. They're going to be like the nice, pretty, evenly red, round tomatoes that everybody wants to look at, and they present well on the plate. But you get, let me see if I can find a seed packet.
Genetically modified organism stuff.
Uh-huh.
Now, the heirloom tomatoes are usually like kind of have red and faded green, kind of
Yeah,
variegated
tie dye
colors.
almost.
yeah, because that's how tomatoes were meant to have existed before, beautiful vegetables took over.
So I used to have, and I still have the seeds, but I don't think I've got the packet anymore. These tomatoes, they were called Black Beauties, and they were purple. And I like to joke that some of them, the ones that I grew, became mutants because they were literally like this big and like very bulbous, but they were delicious. Heirloom tomatoes are probably the most delicious thing, tomato-wise, that you'll
They
ever
do taste
taste.
good. So would you consider the purple ones to be independent instead of Republican or Democrat? Would they?
I see what you did there, Brandon. I see
Right?
what you did there. So I bought heirloom seeds before in the past. Seed Savers Exchange is one of the resources for that. I think Baker Creek is the other one.
I've got an entire list.
Okay. Well, see, this is amazing. And then the last cooking item that I had for the day for today's is resilience soup, which when I was a kid, Helen called it Constitution soup. which is basically just white bean and kale.
Sure sounds tasty.
Yeah. No, you have to season it. Now, to be fair, I would season it with my $95 Penzeys seasoning
Yeah.
jar or whatever, that every time I use it, people complain that I'm using spices that are way too expensive. But basically, you soak a pound of cannellini beans overnight. You saute a diced onion with celery and carrot and olive oil, and you add the beans, simmer that for 2 hours. And then basically, after the 2 hours is up, take the kale and tear it up into pieces and throw it into the pot. And then season it with a shit ton of thyme, the thyme spice, in the last 5 minutes. And then they say salt it aggressively. I don't know. I'm of two minds about that. If you've seasoned it enough. And then you serve that with cheesy, crusty bread. And there's nothing more constitution improving than that, I don't think. But maybe people would argue with me.
I'd like to add potatoes to that.
I've had kale in a zuppa Toscana before, and that was pretty good. I don't like kale by itself. Like, I've had kale chips and just kale in a salad. It's just, I don't.
Kale's kind of gross.
Yeah.
It
refuse
really
to throw it.
is. Yeah.
So here's the thing: like, if you can't handle kale, does that mean you can tolerate the taste of arugula?
Oh, I like arugula.
See, arugula tastes like ass to me. I'm sorry, it does.
It really
Oh,
does.
well, maybe
yeah.
that's why I like it.
How do you feel about cilantro?
Ugh.
Cilantro
Arugula-
tastes like soap.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, so it's interesting you say that, because she and I, the person behind my monitor, we're both people that can't eat cilantro because it tastes like soap. And that's actually a genetic trait. That's a genetic thing that makes.
I've discovered a third trait, though. Like,
Oh.
cilantro tastes like soap to me, but I like it in things.
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
Like, I can't eat it by itself. Like, I've eaten it straight out of the garden. But if I put it in salsa, yeah.
I don't like too much of it in salsa.
No.
No, I love guacamole, except guacamole has cilantro in it, and so.
I mean, it can. It doesn't
I mean,
have to.
at what point am I eating mashed up avocado, or is it guacamole?
Does it have lemon juice and onion in it?
That's how egg
I
being
guess
served.
I've never made fresh guac before, so I can't attest to that.
It's delicious.
Hell, look, we're living in Trump's tariff world, so fucking avocados are expensive as shit. So
Yeah.
I really have to want avocados to buy one.
I mean, I replaced mayonnaise in my chicken salad sandwiches with avocado.
Yeah, you can replace mashed up avocado. You can use that as a butter replacement.
Mm-hmm.
And people have done that. I don't know, like, an avocado oil is a really nice oil to have. I don't know.
It's got a really high smoke point.
Yeah, like avocado oil and grapeseed oil smoke points are extremely high. So does that mean you can deep fry with those? I guess, right?
That would take a lot of oil, though.
Yeah, you'd have to use a shit ton of it, but I guess you could do it. But I can't use palm oil because that's not sourced.
Yeah.
Palm oil is not sourced ethically. Whenever I go to the grocery store and see people buying it, I'm like, oh.
Wait,
Okay.
palm oil?
Mhm.
I've got palm oil, but it's from Nigeria, and I think it is ethically sourced.
If you could prove that it's
I
ethically,
can't prove it.
yeah, I mean, like, if you could prove that palm oil is ethically sourced, I would feel a little bit better about buying it, but not enough to buy it, in the store. Just
Okay.
no, not quite enough.
It's definitely popular in Nigeria, and my spirituality is Nigeria spirituality, and I use it a lot, but not for cooking. I use it for
Right.
other things. It's actually pretty nasty. I've tasted it before. It stains everything yellow. It tastes really nasty to me. But yeah,
I mean, to each their own, sure. You know,
right.
but well, that's all I had for today. Does anybody have anything to close with? Because if not, I will tell you shit that happened today.
Yay, let's do it.
All right, so shit that happened on this day. I closed my tab that had today's.
Oh, like
date.
historically?
Yes, historically. Today's historical catch-all moments. Yeah, here we go. No, don't do that. Back up. There we go. So today, in 1880, Douglas MacArthur was born. General Douglas MacArthur. Australia Day, which celebrates the British colonization, while indigenous people mark that day as Invasion Day.
I didn't know Australia Day was a thing.
Yeah, it is. Michigan was admitted as the 26th state in 1837. Sarah.
That was before my time.
Yeah, Indian Republic Day is today. The first Grammy Award ceremony happened today in 1959.
Oh,
And then today is the anniversary of Kobe Bryant, Gianna Bryant, and 7 others dying in a helicopter crash.
I can't believe it's been that long. You know,
Like 2020, yeah, it's been 5 years. Kobe Bryant is dead now, and that's very sad.
wow.
So, all right. Well, with that, I will close. Thank you, everybody that watched the show today. I really appreciate all of you that come and watch and listen to us talk about getting through all the shit that we're getting through. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you, Onyx. Thank you, Sarah. Please subscribe, thistleandmoss.com. If you go to thistleandmoss.com and you click on the gathering link at the top, you will find everybody's pages there, and you can sub for as you like. And with that, I will say thank you all. Be safe out there. Do good things. Come back, because I can't do this without my 3 co-hosts any more than I can do this without the people in the audience. And I'm sure my cohorts, you all feel the same way, right? You do, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure we have a quorum of that. And with that, I will say goodbye and good luck.
Abiento.